It is about a violinist playing in Paris, in the Paris streets.
It's a true story.
It's a true story of a violinist. Yeah, you're supposed to be the fiction writer.
But, well, I do write fiction, but this happens to be a true story.
All right, true story. Nisha Coleman, wrote stories from the streets of Paris.
I'm going to switch it up with the mic.
Switch it up.
Got it cold.
How's that?
Real good.
Okay. Move that down. Okay. So this is not a fiction story. I'm sorry if you're disappointed. This really happened to me when I moved to Paris. I was 23 and I basically had a backpack and a violin and no money, no visa, nowhere to live, no friends. And so I just started playing on the street and silly things started happening, and this is one silly thing that happened maybe after a couple of months living there. So, as I crossed the Solferino pedestrian bridge, faint notes from a jazz ensemble drift with the wet breeze over the Seine. When I get closer, I see a lone figure in the sheltered passageway. In his 50s, with weathered skin and a thatch of gray hair, he croons Sunny Side of the Street, accompanying himself on the drums and accordion, and alternating between trumpet and trombone. There are CDs for sale and a top hat for coins. His act is impressive, but I'm enamored with the location. It offers a flattering residence with the cobblestone pathway and shimmering Seine. It is a busker's paradise. I return the next day with my violin. The one-man band isn't there, so I open my case and start with a slow minor piece to match the cool, cloud-covered morning. At first there were only joggers and a few pigeons, but in the coming hour the tourists begin to flow. Families are plentiful, American mostly, with overstimulated kids that throw tantrums, their last meal still smeared on their faces. My playing distracts them, and the parents reward me with coins and dollar bills. Soon enough, the one-man band emerges from around the corner, carrying instruments, a suitcase, and a bass drum slung on his back. He sets his things down and gives me a cool stare. I pull my bow off the string and smile sweetly. "I've never seen you before," he says, unconcerned, probably because it's his spot, and if it came to a playoff, my violin would be no match for his ensemble. Still, it's public property, and a compromise is in order. He suggests I play during the week before he arrives. I'd have an hour and a half if I started at noon. The traffic is slower then, but enough to make a modest wage. "All right," I say, ceding to his seniority. "Do you sing?" he asks. "No, I don't." And it's the truth. I can barely carry a tune, have the vocal range not much larger than an octave, and no lung power. That's the microphone. He opens his suitcase of CDs and tells me he has some songs he needs sung in English. "Special songs," he whispers. I glance at his collection, which spans several decades, judging by the aging photos of him on the covers. Grinning, he reaches inside a secret pouch and pulls out a disc. I stare at the cover. A bare ass, female, makes up the bottom third, and a red rose protrudes from between the spherical cheeks. In the background, cotton ball clouds are suspended in a blue sky. The disc is called Overdose 69. They're sex songs, he explains. They're for the internet. Americans, they'll download them if they're in English. He looks at me, waiting. I pry my eyes from the cover and tell him I can't sing. His face and shoulders drop, and he looks so thoroughly dejected that I mention I might know someone, an Anglophone, a musician. Maybe she'll do it. His face snaps back towards me, and his hopeful glow returns. He hands me the CD and pulls a tattered business card from his breast pocket. His name is Bernard. The next afternoon, I slip Bernard's CD into my friend Bridget's stereo, and his music pollutes her living room. The songs are perverted and border on toilet humor. It's all about popping cherries and licking cumsicles. The female vocalist is professionally trained, and she boasts a full-body jazz voice with a suggestive, smoky growl. Bridget says There's no way she'll sing on the album. But she's a filmmaker with a natural curiosity. She wants to meet the man behind the music. Bernard is sipping from a small metal flask when we arrive, and breaks into a grin when he sees us. Have you thought about it? He asks. I gently explain that we're not comfortable singing the sexy songs. Oh, but I have other songs I need in English. He squints in consideration. Come on, let's try it, both of you in the studio. Please. I glance at Bridget. She's a stronger singer, but would never go alone. And if we were singing together, well, it could be all right. Like singing in a choir, I could match her pitch, and she would mask my shortcomings. It's as if Bernard has been trying his whole life to make it in the world of music, and we are his key. Or so it seems by the way his pleading eyes steer into us. Maybe that's why we said yes. On the regional train, as we cross the Seine and enter a suburban wasteland, the butterflies in my stomach give an extra jolt. I thought I could fake it, but now that we're sailing towards the studio, I'm not sure at all. Bernard meets us at the station. I was expecting a do-it-yourself basement setup with foam and egg cartons taped to the wall. To my horror, it appears to be the real deal. The first room has several looming microphones, a keyboard, and a drum set. Through a glass window in the wall, a curly-haired man is aglow before a massive computer screen. He slides out of his leather chair and opens the door to his glassed-in universe. He invites us to sit at the table in the center. Bon, on commence, Bernard says, reaching into his bag. He sets the lyrics onto the table for a song called Taurus the Bull. I recognize it from the sexy CD. We said we didn't want to play and sing on this CD, I protest. He laughs and says, don't worry, it's not a provocative song. We examine the lyrics, which feature chickens copulating, while an aroused farmer looks on. In another verse, children watch through a window as bovines fuck in the field. Bernard tells Claude to cue the song in French so we can learn the melody. I listen in defeat to the velvet-voiced woman, her wide vibrato and evocative nuances. Bridget is shaking her head, either at the absurdity of the situation or the impossibility of our task. Once we've heard the song twice, Bernard escorts us to the other room and asks who will sing first. My heart skitters. My plan is already foiled. All I can think is I don't want to be first, so I point to Bridget. Bernard puts a hefty set of headphones on her and places her before a microphone. He leaves the room, and through the window, I can see his electric smile. Bridget looks at me with what appears to be fear and regret. I try to muster a smile, but can't quite get the corners of my mouth to rise. Claude cues the music. I can hear it clearly in Bridget's headphones. The introduction comes to a close with a crowing rooster, signaling the beginning of the first verse. So here are the lyrics. I won't sing it, I'll just say them. At the dawn of day, Mother Nature awakes, all the singing birds, wishing me a good day. The soft wind caresses the skin of my face, and in the fields, nature reclaims her space. On in the chorus, the horny bull takes the cow aside. The horny bull likes a bouncy ride. Bridget doesn't make it to the end of the chorus before she is overcome with laughter. I've been holding my breath to keep such outbursts at bay, but when she breaks down, I lose it and fall to my knees, ravaged with giggles. Claude cuts the music. Through the glass, I see he doesn't find the situation amusing. Bernard is scowling and has turned a shade grayer. I suggest she give it another go, but Bernard is motioning for me to approach the mic. Good luck, Bridget says, placing the headphones over my ears. I take a deep breath. This is as impossible for me as doing a triple flip from a high circus platform. I try to focus on the lyric sheet, which is trembling in my hands. Then the rooster crows. To my utter surprise, my vocal cords comply. Sound leaves my mouth. I can feel my throat rattling, but I don't recognize the voice. A pronounced Southern American accent has taken over. I'm being consumed by an inner hillbilly. The singing itself is horrifying. My voice trembles and I make several entry, rhythmic, and melodic errors. Part of the verse dips below my range, reducing my voice to a croak. I only get to the first chorus before laughter returns and I fall to the ground. Bernard bursts into the room, frowning fiercely. He tells us to come into the control room and listen to what we've done. We reluctantly take a seat while Claude cues the recording. Mine is first. I knew it was bad, but I wasn't prepared for this. My voice wavers in and out of tune, the rhythm is way off, the country accent is out of control. I feel my cheeks sear with shame. Bridget has more control over her voice, and at least gets some of the entries right. All right, Bernard says, let's try that again. I stand nervously to the side while Bridget slips the headphones on and approaches the mic. The rooster crows and she begins to sing. It's better this time, far from CD quality, but it's in tune and she has a waver of emotion to select words, as if she's feeling it more. Still, she doesn't make it past the first verse. My second attempt is worse. The southern drawl overpowers, contorts my pronunciation, and my voice quality reaches a new low. I can see Bernard and Claude wincing and shaking their heads through the window. Bernard summons us back into the control room where he lectures us on music practice and the need for dedication and hard work. Claude chimes in that we'll have to devote ourselves a great deal more. We can't expect to become singing stars without dedication and hard work. Bridget and I sit silently and nod, ashamed and bewildered, gaze lowered to the floor. Then, finally, we're dismissed, are breathing the outside air again, and laughing, this time with relief. Normally, I would avoid Bernard after such a humiliating display, but we're co-workers now. I'll be seeing him soon. I can't afford to stay away from that mystical passageway where the gypsies frolic and coins tinkle in my case aside the gently surging Seine. In fact, I think I'll go back tomorrow.